Well, welcome there everybody. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, overcast, little bit of rainy day here in South Africa. As I said in my previous video, winter is coming. And apparently I've got a mole. Oh my soul. Yeah, so what are we doing today? Well, we're finishing up with that turbo bolt of ours, so we can get on to the next one. And would you look at that? I got myself a caddy. Yeah, that's the newest member of the channel. All right, so yeah, we're definitely starting that bike today, so we can continue on with more turbo bolts and better things to come. So yeah, it's not lovely weather, but I hope the Lord, each and every one of you are truly well and blessed by our Lord and Savior. And yeah, let's get to the movie. Yeah, it's that time again. Sponsors of the channel, all these guys over here, they sponsors of the channel. They support me, help making better videos for all of you guys out there. So yeah, thanks to all the members. Thank each and every one of you. And if you're not a member, well, come join. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's get to the video. Yeah, okay folks, so it's that time again. What time is it? Time to stop yapping and get this bike done. I think that's a good time. All right, quickly before I tell you what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna give you highlights. I did a lot of stuff off camera. I'll show you what I did, but I'm not gonna show you how I did everything. Only reason for that is the turbo bolt is done. We are now on the last 5 or 10% of stuff that needs to be done. And if you're building a turbo bike, you're gonna have to make your own plan with that. So I'm just gonna give you the ins and outs of what I did, why I did it, and what. So first thing, you will see the water hose is connected to the turbo. It doesn't look very lacquer there. So that's one of the issues I have with this exhaust manifold. Remember I told you this is one I was supplied, it's not one I built. So they put the turbo in the center. Okay, so when you put the turbo in the center, we normally put it more to number 3 side, so it'll be in deeper, but doesn't matter. So issues you run into when you put it in the center is on this side. There's a metal oil line of the bike there, so your compressor housing runs into it. You saw me clearance the turbo for it. That's one of the issues. Another issue is, if I can stand in front of the bike, you will see the air filter looks like a side stand. Because the turbo is center, the compressor housing and everything is so far off to this side that I'm gonna have to put a smaller air filter on to make it look right, because now it looks like a side stand. So that's the other issue you have when you have the turbo in the center. So yeah, some of you guys will say, yeah, but you have to run equal length headers and that's why you put it in the center and. Yeah, if you're doing a car, if you check in there, this header goes around, that one is short, it's like this. So this one's long, that one's short, and then long at the end again. So they're not equal length headers anymore in any case. Plus that whole exhaust housing gets pressurized with the exhaust gas. So just move the turbo to number 3 and stop worrying about equal length headers, because these aren't equal length, and yeah, you don't need equal length. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that. So the radiator is nice and tight in place, fitted. Then if we come here, I did install the original fuel hose to the fuel line, so it goes like this now, back into the tank, all nice and good. Bob's your uncle. This is the return line from the injectors. I'll show you there now. Here's the fuel pressure regulator I used you can check down there, one of the spots where that all brackets lined up to. Sorry, so fuel pressure regulator is installed, ready to go. You will see vacuum lines connected, TP's there, other one goes to the map sensor and goes underneath the throttles back to its normal place. All good and happiness. This one goes to the top. I still need to connect rubber line from here to here, but that's easy. I'll just run it the same as this one with a little bend. So yeah, that's that. Getting to the boost box, I showed you in the last one, I had to make, well, I made these little adapter plates. So they screw in, then you can see there's got a little plate at the bottom that the fuel rail screws into. And if you check from the top, there's nice space for everything. Injectors are all nice and tight, everything in place. So yeah, last things here on the boost box, you need to install your temperature sensor that was on your airbox. You need to install it into the boost box, so the standard management can still check. Even if the boost temperature is high, it can still see that temperature. And then on the other side, just a vacuum line that'll go with a T-piece from here to the dump valve and then to the wastegate. No wastegate and stuff on yet because we still need to finish up with the exhaust. So yeah, I said all I had to say. That's why everything is off at the moment. Don't know if there's anything else I didn't do or didn't tell you, but I'm quickly gonna put oil in there now. We're gonna make sure there's oil pressure. So we'll swing her like she is now. Oh yeah, I also installed the plug for the fuel pump and everything, and the fuel fitting is nice and tight, so everything like that's working. Yeah, we'll just put on a little breather, just a little air filter. I don't have one at the moment, but I'll get one. So yeah, we're quickly gonna change that oil filter to a new one. Make sure the sump prop is tight, put in oil. You guys know what oil I used. There it is, that Shell Helix Advanced AX7. It's the bike one, it's not the car one. So yeah, we're gonna be putting that in here, swinging the bike, making sure there's oil pressure. And as soon as there's oil pressure, at the moment there's no spark plugs in, we'll put plugs back in, and then we can put the boost box on, reinstall the tank, make sure there's no fuel leaks and stuff. Oh, and nothing is polished at the moment because nothing is set final. As soon as this bike is finished, mapped and tuned and everything, then we'll take everything off and give it a nice polish, and some things will come black and powder coated and what. But yeah, for now everything is nice and scratched and just nothing to write home about. Okay, so yeah, again, I said all I had to say. Now let's get busy with the rest. I'm not going to show you everything, I'll just show you the highlights. Yeah, continuing on. So folks, we charged the battery. It was a bit flat. We continued on with the whole fueling system. We've got oil pressure, I think. Pretty sure we do. Let's hope so. This is the return line. So I connected all the fuel lines. What's going to happen next is we've got spark plugs in, everything is in. We're going to add antifreeze into the radiator. And we're going to put the tank back on with the boost box to check the fuel pressure, check if the fuel pressure is correct, check for leaks, because there's always something. But yeah, so quickly going to put the boost box on. Just gonna put it on so we can run the fuel lines through it and connect the air temp sensor, and yeah, then we'll install the tank and see if we've got fuel pressure. So let me do that thing, couple of things, and we continue from there on. Yeah, so just so you know, these are the types of problems you run into when doing stuff like this. So you see the tank is on. The boost box isn't on, but it's connected and everything. And all I wanted to do now is connect the fuel hose to the padcock, or which should be on the tank, but I took it off already. And you see it's nice and lubed. So yeah, when I connected this fuel hose to the fuel pump at the bottom, that hose was fine, no issues there. Now when I'm trying to connect it here to the padcock or to the tank, well, it's literally it's deteriorating every time I'm trying to put it in. So yeah, at the bottom this hose is good. It's connected to the fuel pump at the moment, no issues. But here at the top, every time I try and push it over, it tears at the back. And yeah, you cut a piece off, but it's almost rock solid. I should have seen it, but I didn't. So yeah, what do we have to do now? You don't have to do anything. You'll just see it'll be done. So now I'm gonna have to take the tank off again and disconnect this fuel line from the fuel pump via that number 24 banjo bolt, and put the new piece of line in. I was trying to use this line because it's got this nice metal sleeving, stop it from kinking. I'll just transfer it to the new pipe. So yeah, that's the type of problems you run into when doing stuff like this. So yeah, let me take the tank off, fix it, and just show you the end result. Yeah, folks, so we've got all the fuel lines connected. We've got fuel in the tank. I haven't switched it on yet because I want you to see the same time as I do if we've got any fuel leaks. And yeah, new fuel line over there. We'll check the fuel pressure over here. And yeah, it's plugged in, everything is nice and fine. Put the kill switch on, switch the bike on. Hold thumbs. What now? Oh my soul. Okay, we've got a leak. Oh hell. Yeah. That's how easy it is to get a fuel leak. Aye, okay, so this injector's got a leak. Okay, so we're gonna disconnect it again. See what's going on there, and we'll try again. Okay, so this injector's seal at the top had a little tear in it. And yeah, it's all fixed now. So yeah, let's try for fuel pressure one more time. I'm just gonna stand back a bit. Okay, so far so good. We managed to make fuel pressure there. Not a lot. We managed, what, 1 bar? But at least now we can check everything. Everything seems good. Not seeing any leaks. Okay, let's put antifreeze, put the exhaust, and well, we'll up the fuel pressure just now to 3 bar. And then see if she starts. We are very close this time. Okay, folks, so what do we need to do? What's left to do? We already installed the wastegate. As I say, I'm going to do a lot of things that I'm not going to show you. Wastegate is installed. We need an exhaust back there. We've got the plate, but we didn't get an exhaust because we put a different turbo on and everything. But that doesn't matter. We have plus minus idea where the exhaust is gonna live. Not sure we're gonna come out here or here, I don't know. But we'll quickly put in some exhaust studs there by the turbo, Loctite them in and everything. Put this flange on, mark how we're gonna make the exhaust pipe. And yeah, once we're done there, I'll quickly fill up the radiator with antifreeze. I've got some nice sponsored Wins antifreeze I'll put in. And yeah, then we can try and start her, and then we'll up that oil pressure. Not oil pressure, fuel pressure, to see if she runs and everything. We also need to, it's got a quick release fitting, but we need to fit a fitting for the vacuum line. But that's nothing big, we can start it without it. We won't be revving it high, because once she starts, we need to load her to go and put the piggyback system on, so the top 4 injectors can start working and we can get a dynode and everything. So for this video, we're only looking at getting the bike started and everything else done, so we can get to the rest of it. Yeah, I said all I had to say, so let's get going. Okay, so just to show you, I'm lying on my back. Nice, eh? This is a piece of random pipe I had lying around here by me. I already cut it because of this nice awkward angle of the wastegate pipe. The way I'm thinking of going at it is I'm gonna give it just a slight angle there at the front, and it's gonna come out roughly plus minus about here. So yeah, I'll quickly go and angle it. Obviously here where my thumb is, this pipe's also gonna get a slash cut. But yeah, this is probably how it's gonna be. As I say, only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna angle this piece, make it a bit skew, and then we can tag it together and yeah, weld it, get it finished. So yeah, let me angle it and see if it works out. Yeah, just to show you guys what I'm doing, what's taking so long. Okay folks, so there it is, fully welded on. What I can say is I don't think my welding skills improved much, but my grinding skills are still some of the best in the world. And you can check, the further away it goes, the better the welding looks. So yeah, let's put it on. We won't polish it now. We'll polish it when it's done. We still need to slash cut this end. We'll slightly slash it, but let's just get it installed at the moment and hear how this bike sounds. Okay folks, so for the most part she's done. All we need to do, a couple of small things. We still need to take out that plug for the charging. Obviously we need to adjust the fuel pressure, and then we need to put antifreeze in. So yeah, I've got this nice Wins summer coolant antifreeze. We'll quickly put that in, and I think then it's time. We'll, as I say, adjust the fuel pressure so it's at least 3 bar. Maybe change that when we're at Shane, but just pour in here while I'm talking. And I hope all the hoses are connected. I'm pretty sure everything is. But yeah, we will do that. I'm adding the coolant. We'll adjust the fuel pressure one more time, or we'll adjust it for the first time. Check for fuel leaks and everything. And then we're gonna try starting her. So yeah, the exhaust is on. It's not gorgeous at the moment. It still needs to get slash cut and everything. Maybe even a bit added or a bit taken away, I'm not sure, because I don't have the fairing. So I don't know where the hole's gonna be. But yeah, exhaust is on, wastegate's on, everything is on. We are 90% done. But yeah, we can start from here, see if there's oil pressure and if everything is right and tight. Okay, I'm almost done here. Let me add some more antifreeze and we'll start there. We'll get close to starting her. Okay, excuse the rain. We've been having a little bit of lovely rain. Quickly gonna adjust this fuel pressure over here. I hope you can see. So we'll cycle the bike a couple of times. I took it up to 2 bar, 2.5. It's about 3 bar. Just go a nippy more. I don't know if you can see there. Yeah, that's 3 bar. Don't see any fuel leaks. Remember, the boost box is still off, so it's not connected to the throttles. We will do that, and we still need to connect this vacuum line to the wastegate. The coolant is filled. You just saw there's no fuel leaks anymore. So yeah, the only thing left to do is to try and start her, see if she's got oil pressure. We did swing her a couple of times, and we did get oil pressure. So we did fill her up with more oil. As I say, we still need to do that regulator rectifier, but that's just a plug I'm putting in. So yeah, enough talking. Is this bike gonna start? It's supposed to start. The boost box not connected. It's still normal aspirated, apart from it's got a turbo on. So there shouldn't be any reason for her not to start. We won't be able to rev her and let her go into boost. Well, one, because there's no boost box on at the moment, and two, because the top injectors aren't connected. So they do get fuel and everything, but we still need to install the piggyback system to make the top injectors work and make it work on the boost. So yeah, I've said all I have to say. Let's see if she starts. Okay, choke it a bit. So we will be having FI. I don't know why. Everything should be plugged in. You can see the oil light's dead. You must remember now it's got a new head on, so the shimming and everything still has to set into place. This is the first heat this bike is gonna see, or first heat cycle. So just check that fuel pressure. Fuel pressure is just below 3 bar. That's fine. We do have oil pressure. Check for oil leaks. Antifreeze. Take the camera off. The water pump itself. Oh well. Okay, so we will be checking that. Probably because it's been dry. And then there's also a oil leak. side looks good. Not leaking a lot. Just a little bit. Okay folks, so yeah, we heat cycled her. She's got a water leak on her water pump. I wasn't even close to that, but we will leave that and see if it, because of the pump being dry for a while, otherwise we'll take out that water pump and fix it. And then a pretty significant oil leak. Where, you might ask? Yeah, exactly in there. There at the lovely place where I struggled so much. So yeah, how are we gonna fix that? Well, we're gonna have to take the radiator and everything off again. But you wouldn't have to watch that. You will see I installed the boost box. It's not tightened, but it's in place. I'll quickly trim these lines, everything, so the tank can close and all the hoses got their correct clearance. But you will see none of this. The next video you'll see on this will probably be me showing you the management system installed and this bike on the dyno. Oh yeah, and I still need to fix that. Everything else that's going to happen now I'll do off camera. As I say, the next time you see this bike I will be telling you about the management that's in, and we will be going to the dyno. So yeah, still a couple of issues, hiccups, stuff to sort out. But she starts, she's alive. We've got boost and stuff, or yeah, everything is done. So yeah, if you've watched till this time, hey, comment down below, she's alive. And then I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching, sharing, subscribing, liking, and yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you a hell of a lot. And yeah, this one is going to be gone now for, let's say, a month or two, not in the videos. We will be continuing on with the next turbo build and with my blue Busa, changing a couple of things on that for the top ends. But yeah, you guys, may the Lord bless each and every one of you. And yeah, as I say, it's raining here by us, so hopefully you are also blessed with nice, lovely rain weather. But yeah, enjoy the week to come and see you guys on Tuesday again.